Hi, everybody. My name's Allie Burns, and this is Morning Wood. This is my co
What's
host,
it?
Detroit Lenny. He's really excited
Ha!
today because Miguel Cabrera might just hit his 3,000th home run, and we might all get to watch Lenny cry like a little girl. How's it going, Lenny?
Whatever. I don't care.
I hope he does. I love things like this in baseball. I love when you get excited too. So I'm rooting for you. I'm rooting for Miggy. I'm rooting for the freaking
I think he
Tigers.
does it too. I should say, I hope that he does it via home run.
Yeah.
I do.
Oh, so it's not it's just a hit? That's all he needs is a hit?
So all he needs one hit, and he'll have 3,000 hits and over 500 home runs in his. He's got like 502 home runs in his career. So he joins. I mean, he's gonna be like the 33rd, I think, 32nd player in MLB history ever to have 3,000 hits. So
Wow.
it's
Just a
rare.
hit.
It's rare. And look, he's a Hall of Famer. He's Triple Crown winner. When's the last time you saw that before him? It was before both of us were born. So I mean, I mean, I'm biased. I've obviously followed him ever since he was a Tiger, but I mean, he's the best hitter of our generation.
The best there ever were.
Mm-hmm.
I'm looking at his player props.
Him to hit a home run right now is plus 500.
Is it? I
Yeah.
can't find that.
And I'm on it.
I do already have quite a few bets out. I took the Tigers on the run line today. I actually took Julie Carly's plays. She put them in the Parlay chat. I was like, all right, Julie, let's see where you're going today. So I took the White Sox and the Giants also today. Do you have any feelings about these things?
I am on. I have two Nerfies today, and they are both. One's in the White Sox Cleveland game. I'm on that Nerfie, and I'm on the Oakland Baltimore Nerfie. Two.
Oh, I got to get on that under for the
It's at
Oakland
7 today.
Orioles
I don't
game.
like it.
The Orioles
The
is
book has
7.
caught up to that stuff. It's on
Yeah,
7.
I hate when that happens, especially after they're coming off a one-run game.
I stayed off of it today.
Okay.
Today I stayed off of it just because I'm a little iffy on it.
Silky, our current reigning last Woody standing champion, is going with the Marlins. I never got your pick yesterday, Silky. What was your pick yesterday?
He
'Cause
never
he
gave
put
us.
it in. He did, remember,
Well,
because he said old and new. And then we were like, you won. You don't need the old one, but we never got the new one.
well, there's that. Yeah, I never got that.
So let's keep him in. We can double check because obviously he thinks he's still in. So that was our bad. We were excited. We were flushed with excitement for you, Silky. We forgot to type that in. But I do remember reading it. He did put it there. I'll find it. Heath says, let's go Tigers today. And that's coming from a White Sox fan. We appreciate the support, brother.
We need all the help we can get. By the way, this guy, real quick before you even go, this guy who's a fan of the hookers from Ann Arbor. That's a nice way I can say it. Yeah, won the first ever Going Deep contest yesterday.
Right. Tate
so congratulations to the Tateness of the greatness.
The greatness of Tateness.
Yes, congratulations. Somehow he accidentally fell into some picks and won it. So a new one starts on the Facebook content on the Facebook group page though today. I started a new one. We're going to start that every Thursday and try and make that a Thursday thing. So it was perfect. It ran through Wednesday and new one starts today. So there's that.
Beautiful. What's up, Bob Blanchard? How you doing? He likes, okay, I'm on the White Sox money line and you like the Blue Jays money line, 3-team. Oh, there it is, San Francisco. I'm like, that's only 2 teams, Robert. Okay, no, but it is the Giants. I got White Sox and Blue Jays. Ross Benjamin, guys. Ross Benjamin is coming on today, and we're going to talk a little bit about line movement. We talk about it all the time on the show. I'm going to help explain it, or he's going to help explain it to us. I've got my whiteboard ready. It's all dusted off. He had Bucks first quarter and Raptors first half. Okay.
That's fair.
Yeah, I believe it. I believe you. We can look later. Nerfy in Sox from Ohio, Nerfy Baltimore, Oakland, and Nerfy Cards Marlins. All right.
I like all of those. I'm on the first 2, but I'm gonna jump on the Cards Marlins one. I looked at that and I was a little iffy, but I
What
don't
was
hate
the
it.
other? Okay,
There's only 10 games here. You know what else I'm on? I'm on
Sox.
my going
Rams.
deep pick for today is there will not be a grand slam hit. -130. That's a
Really?
contest just cuz.
Where the
There's
hell
only
did
10
you
games.
find that?
I did that for Tate. It's on Bill and Mayor's site. Bill's site.
Oh, Bill and Mayor.
Billy Hill.
Will there be a score in the first inning? No, is a 182. I got to do it on Bill Hill.
Yeah, you got to go on Bill Hill, and it's -130. I think it was because whatever it was, I put it on the Facebook page.
Lex Steele has already sent me at 5:43 a.m. He sent me a 2-team parlay, and at 7:40 he has sent me another one.
Yeah, I don't get it.
Mean, these are intense. These are intense.
Yeah, he's got he might as well send a PowerPoint. I mean, that's where they're at. They're like, all right, we're gonna go with this one because of this one, and we're gonna it's that he's a mad scientist, and I don't get half the shit he says.
He's funny. He's a funny one. Hi, Julie Carly.
Make sure you guys
you're going with
when
A's?
you put your picks in the chat, put LWS because there's a lot of chat and there's only 13 people left in last Woody standing, so I can't read all, and especially when we have guests on, we don't pull up every chat. So you better make sure you're also chatting in the Max Wager Network YouTube page, because pretty soon we're just going to be streaming live on only there and then uploading the finished product onto Picks and Parlays and places. So there's that.
I can't believe I bet $22 on Dimitri. I'm like,
Dimitri's a nice gentleman.
Dimitri Bogdanov. 22. Usually I hit 2. I hit 22. Now I've got $22 riding on a Russian table tennis bet at frickin' 10 in the morning. I know. I did go 2-0 again yesterday in the Handicapper, so that's 30-10 is my record, still in the first place.
Yep, I posted update.
Jojo, you'll get there. You'll get there, Jojo.
It's a grind.
Yeah.
Handicapper, Chris Gillison is right behind you at 28-11-1, and James Mounts is at 28-12.
Oh, James Mounts and Chris Gillison, you say?
Yeah.
Did they both go 2-0 yesterday? They had to, huh?
James Mounts did. Chris Gillison went 1-1, but I had messed up and marked him 1-1 the day before, and he was really 2-0. So I had to get him extra. Because Lenny makes mistakes. Yes, Lenny from Detroit, Sir Detroit of Detroit. I've been known to make a mistake here and there.
It happens sometimes. Hola, Pedro Mas. Orioles team total under 3.5 and the A's money line. I just took that A's money line also. Yeah, let's get it. What's up, Bob Blanchard? How you doing? Went Nerfy for the Cards, Marlins for the Thursday Facebook contest.
I can see that.
This is why y'all got to have different books, because this is like the perfect example of it. The Cards Marlins for me is a -182.
Yeah. There's like a quarter discrepancy between BOL and William Hill and Caesar Sportsbook. So this is why you guys got to shop your lines. I mean, being in contest I'll go on BetMGM and then I won't see it, and then and then I'll go over. I'll have it at like -155, 160, and then I'll go over to William Hill and might have it at 145, or vice versa. You know what I mean?
Right now, I'm looking at the Cardinals and the Marlins. Will there be a score in the first? No is 159 on William Hill, Caesar Sportsbook. It's a 120. So that's huge.
Yeah.
That's a bet that I would never make a -160 bet on a first inning, but I'd make a 120, right? So that's a really big difference. Is what that is. Bam. Okay. So what was my other ones? I wanted the Cardinals and the Marlins, who and the who?
Orioles and the A's.
Okay.
And Cleveland and the White Sox.
That one looks like it got taken off. Where is it?
All right, Tigers game
Blue
has
Jays.
started. I am watching. So
God,
when Ross gets your call out last Woody standings, if you have them, because I might not be paying attention.
Listen, you're at work right now, sugar.
Oh, I'm working. I'm about
Blue
to
Jays
work
Red
this plus
Sox.
500. I'm about to smack it up, flip it, and rub it down.
All right. Well, if there's a Miggy sighting, every time he comes up to bat, you got to let us know.
He went 3 for 4 yesterday. He had a damn good day yesterday, and they lost that game 4-2. But, or no, it was more than that.
Place bet.
Because
Okay.
it went over.
Hit that like button, Woodies. That's what's up with the get down.
5-3 it was. 5-3. Yeah.
Dude, it was lucky. The over in the Angels game was Kyle's pick, and it was 6-0 the first inning and ended on.
Yeah,
6-0.
Kyle Pickard had the over 8.5 in the Angels game, and it was 6-0 after the first inning. And I was like, damn, I almost caught. I'm like, that's a cash. I'm like, and then that they didn't score no more runs the rest of the damn game. Thank you. Tigers game has started, so no more Tiger bets. Tiger game has started.
Let's go. Something's telling me over 210 in the Mavs Jazz tonight. The way the Mavs changed their game and no Luka shooting more threes. Any take on that, guys? I'm not the biggest NBA person, but in the chat, what do we think, guys? Mavs Jazz over or under the 210? Do you have any thoughts on that?
No, to be honest with you, I haven't handicapped any NBA today. I went 1-1 in handicap in handicap 10. 1-1 in NBA yesterday, and I didn't really look too much. I kind of want to take Golden State tonight against Nuggets, minus the 1.5, 2, depending on where you can get it. But I really don't like the other two games too much. I mean, first game in Utah, so I don't know about that. I'm not the biggest NBA guy, and today's a big day for the Tigers, so I kind of just been on that.
We got you, Miss Julie. I'm fire. Thank you, ma'am. It's an anomaly. Like, I'm just talking as much crap as I can because it's going to go the other way. I'm kind of
I told you last night the math. I told her last night. Here's what I told her. She had 30 wins right now. Last night when I told her this, it was only 12. She was at 28. I'm like, there's only, what is yesterday's 10 more days. There's only, it was at 20 more picks. Out of 20 picks, 40 usually wins that contest. You only need 10 more. So you only got to go 1-1 the rest of the contest, and you'll probably win. They have to catch you at this point. You don't have to worry about slowing down. They got to catch you. It's all about the math. People that have won or finished in the top 3, you guys know what I'm talking about. Like, ask Brian Gillihan. At some point, they got to just catch you. But the man, the myth, the legend is in the house.
Yeah. Oh, my God. I have a lot of money out today.
And I'm going to go watch the Tigers game.
Okay, do it.
And he's going to tell you how I circle the
wagon. Root for Dimitri while you're at it. Okay.
Yes, go Dimitri.
Yes. All right. Bogdanov. What's happening, Ross Benjamin?
I am not going to say it this time, Lenny. I am not. How are you doing, sweetheart?
He lives for that.
I've been waiting all day. I wait all week
for nobody. I mean, nobody. Circles the wagons like Detroit Lenny.
Yes.
Damn right. Damn right.
I love that. You got to pay Ross to do a soundbite for you, and that can be your 100%. Intro for every show you do.
I'm going to put it on T-shirts and shit. I'm telling you right now.
Love you, buddy.
Oh, I love it. How are you doing today, Ross?
I'm good, man. I'm good. Everything's good. Had a nice big winner last night on the Boston Celtics. It was hairy there for a while, Ellie.
It was.
Yeah, but nice comeback. Defense wins championships, and boy, oh boy, the Celtics really locked down defensively, and that's going to make them very dangerous in the Eastern Conference going forward.
Yeah, indeed. I remember looking at that game. I was watching it and they were down, and I was like, I got to jump on the Celtics plus points right now. And right as I was doing it, Silky Man, the guy who just won our last Woody standing, was texting me about how's he get his prize. And I was just texting him back. And by the time I looked up, that bet was gone. Like, Celtics had taken over. So Silky, you cost me a bet there, but it's okay. But yeah, like, it was just, they turned it right on, and it happened. So nice cash on that. Nice cash.
Yeah. That's where you feel like you almost like you stole money because you were so far out of it. You're 17 down in the first half. you're 10 down at the half, you make a run, then it goes back up to 10. And boy, oh boy, the last quarter, the Nets couldn't put the ball in the ocean.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, our free pick that me and you, I did with you on Tuesday, we had the over 226. It fell on 221, but
Yeah.
hey, you know what? That's why I have pay selections, and those 10 star top plays right now. Elliot picks and parlays 9-2 with my last 11. So
boom. That's just it. And I don't think a lot of our viewers, because I was on the Rockies play yesterday. We did that free pick, and I really liked the Rockies. And especially because I was trying to get my money back from Eflin the first time, why the Phillies owe me money. But now the Phillies owe me more money. See how this is working out? See how this is working out? I'm going to write Zach Eflin a strongly worded letter.
It's
with a blank
almost
check
like,
in it.
yeah, it's almost like you have a jinx team, and that happens with me a lot, Ellie.
It's always been the Mets for me. It's always been the Mets, but now it's the Phillies.
Yeah, so basically what I do when that happens is I just stay away completely from that team for a period of time. You can't give up on them forever, because then you're biting off your nose to spite your face, but at least temporarily, because I've just found either I have bad luck with those teams or I'm just don't have a handle on them, whether I go against them or for them, so just a suggestion.
It's a timing thing. Like it's like my timing's off. Like if I'm on this side, I should have been on the other. If I'm on this one, I should have been on the other. But then the next game, they'll do what I thought they would do, or so.
Yes. Yep. Exactly.
It is what it is. I don't need to bet on the Phillies. I'm fine. I'll live the rest of my life just happily and fine without ever betting on the Phillies.
So what's this? Right. I know you've been texting me on how well you're doing in that one pool. What is that? Is that the Woodies standing pool, or
so we do the last Woodies standing is like a weekly contest we do. Yeah. We have a Handicapper that lasts for a full month, and you have to do 2 picks every day for a full month, and the juice has to be under a -150, and so I entered this contest, which I never wanted to be in because it stresses me out and I get anxiety over it. And then Lenny talked me into it. And one night, it was the first night that it started, I'm sitting on my couch and I'm like, you know what? Screw it. I'm just going to put 2 Russian table tennis picks in for the Handicapper, and I'll enter and I'll just play table tennis the whole time. And now I'm 30-10. So
that's unbelievable. That's an awesome record and an awesome run. There you go. Timing is everything, right, Ellie? So
yeah, it is. It really is. So
how many of those 40 picks were Russian table tennis?
All of them. Actually, no, there were 2 that were college basketball. It was like a Kansas first half and a Duke first half that I took, and both of them cashed. And then one was a 4-team teaser that Drunk Alley put in because I couldn't find another table tennis. So 2 of those wins and 1 loss are basketball.
It's a good thing you're not living in Russia. Putin would exile you.
I told you I can't live bet it anymore because of that. I think is why they're not letting me.
Sure,
but I put, I bet like $2 on these things. I accidentally hit that button twice today, and so I have $22 on a Dmitry Bogdanov right now, and I'm very stressed out about it. So.
He's a household name, isn't he, in Russia?
He really is. He's come a long way. He's come a long way. So I wanted to have you on today. I was only
joking, Ellie.
Yeah, I know. I don't know Dmitry Bogdanov. I mean, he's no Evgeny Mercutian. I'll tell you that. Okay.
Okay. I take your word for it.
So I wanted you to talk to them about some line movement, and people in the chat, if you guys have questions, bring them on in. Ross is a wealth of information. He wants to help us learn how to be better handicappers, how to make more money, and how to understand what's going on the other side of just taking bets, how to look into it a little deeper. So there is an example here. Memphis. I wonder, should I write these on my whiteboard?
Sure. It'd be a good idea if you don't mind.
It's just so
I know you love the whiteboard anyway.
That I have one right here.
The school teacher comes out in you.
Don't make me get my ruler out. Okay. Because I'll do it. Okay. So we've got Memphis and we've got Minnesota, right? And what it's telling us is that 62% of the tickets are on Memphis, and 70% of the money is on Memphis. The open is at 2.5 points, -2.5 for Memphis. And now on Caesars Sportsbook, it's a -1.5. So to me, this is a problem because we've got the money here, but the points are getting cheaper. It's getting easier for you to take. So what is something like this tell someone like you?
Well, it's an indicator to me there's some sharp money that went down on Minnesota because basically 62% of the tickets, 70% of the money, that should prompt a line movement that either stays at 2.5 or goes up to 3 or 3.5.
Right.
And that didn't do so. It's called the reverse line movement. So the lesser amount of tickets and the lesser amount of money has prompted a line movement to the underdog, which brought the line down. So that's right there is textbook. I mean, textbook reverse line movement. And when I see reverse line movement, I very, very rarely ever go against it. And I look for reasons to go with it. So, in other words, Ellie, I would say there's no way I'm taking Memphis in this situation. And I am going to look for reasons to take Minnesota. And this game is my 10-star top play tonight, by the way. So, you know, I don't want to elaborate any further, but read between the lines, folks. You're a beneficiary. I've given you a hint who I'm using tonight on my 10-star top play by you just watching this program.
So then we've got the same thing, and thank you for that. I heard what I was picking up.
Well,
What you were
and
putting down.
if I could say this too, Ellie, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you, but you can't no brain your way through it either. I mean, the follow up to me seeing that would be, okay, let's look at other factors. In other words, that's just one of the elements I use.
Right.
It's usually a foundational starting point because in a lot of cases, when I look at line movement or lack thereof, it either tells me I'm not going to even look at this game, or it's the line movement is going against what I originally thought handicapping wise. The data I have supports the other team, and the line movement is not telling me, or the reverse line movement is going against that team. In other words, if I had a lot of data that showed me in handicapping, other handicapping elements that I use, that told me that Memphis looks like a strong play here, yet I see reverse line movement against it, I'll just stay away from the game. So what I don't want the viewers to do or think is that I go into and just look at solely line movement, such as reverse line movement, and just no brain my way through it. There's got to be other supporting factors. I mean, you know, I'm looking at, well, look, Memphis is a number 2 seed, right, in the Western Conference. They're coming off a fabulous regular season, but Ellie, they're still a young team. Okay, and with very little
Wolves team is good. You know, they're here
very
for a
little
reason.
playoff experience, and now they're going. I'm not saying that they're going to lose this series, but it's going to be a tough ask for them to go in on their first playoff road game in what I consider a much more raucous environment in Minnesota than their fans. The Memphis fans seems like they're waiting for Elvis Presley to come alive. They sit on their hands for crying out loud. You know, Minnesota, you know, those people get revved up there.
Yeah, they do. Yeah, they definitely do. Okay, so just to talk about what kind of line movement makes sense, just for the flip side, you know, we've got Dallas. There's 61% of the money's on Dallas against the Jazz, 59% of the tickets. It's a Dallas plus 7.5. On Caesars, it's now a 7, but on other books, it's now a 6.5. So this makes sense, right? This money is on this team, so they're going to make it less valuable for you to bet. This line movement makes
well, actually, based on what you're telling me, 61% of the tickets and 59% of the money is on Dallas, and the line went from 7 to 6.5.
But that's
you know what?
plus 7.
There's plus 7.5 to plus 6.5. Excuse me.
Right.
That's why I stayed away from this game. Number one, okay, this is what I mean about just not looking at line movement. You also have Luka Doncic. That's he's still questionable, and I gotta believe that he's not going to play tonight. And the reason why I say that, and I don't know that for a fact, he's listed as questionable, but there's two variables here. Why would you play him when the series is still 1-1? Now, if you're down 2-0, you're going to press the envelope. Give him another day to rest. And number two, if he does play, there's going to be an abrupt line movement there. I mean, if the books get a hold of information that he's cleared to play an hour, 2 hours before game time, I can guarantee you, Ellie, that line is coming down. And if you had took Utah, you're stuck with a terrible betting value. So
Right.
these are the kinds of things you got to look at. And to me, those types of lines, there's really not much you should read into those lines, other than the fact that if Luka wasn't involved in the equation, that I like to bet against public money. Okay. So even though that line came down, it's to me, it's not a sharp money move. It's just money in general. Okay.
Right.
That's being bet by the public
Right.
based on the fact that, look, the general public, and it's no insult to anybody watching out there, but we do
Right.
this every day for a living. And the general public has a very short memory. Okay.
Mhm.
And they remember, the last game of the series,
Say that
Dallas
all the
winning
time.
outright. Yeah,
Say that all the time.
exactly. But they won, and now they're getting 6.5 or 7. So there's a tendency to overreact there. So there's a lot of things to decipher within a line move. Now, I mean, when we get to, let me just say this: public money. Okay, if you see exactly what the scenario that Ellie just put up on the whiteboard, and there was absolutely no line movement, that tells me probably you want to go against public money, because
Mhm.
you're not seeing any line movement, which means that there's no wise guy or sharp money involved there. And if Dallas is getting that much action, 59-72, I think it was, or 59-69
Mhm.
tickets versus money, that line should have came down. So it did,
Yeah.
which leads me to believe that's a public play. So
Right.
now, if there was no line movement whatsoever, I'm looking at it even harder,
Right.
because folks, not for nothing, the public does win sometime, but more times than not, they're wrong.
Yeah, and it's one of those things where I tell, like, the way I explain it is like when the number doesn't move, they're just going to let you keep betting on that. Just keep betting on that
Yeah.
5. We don't need to freaking move this around because it's getting all kinds of action. And in my head, I'm like, the other way is the way to go. If they don't like to give out free money. So if all the money is coming in on one team and that line doesn't change, I feel like open the floodgates. Let's take all your money, Vegas. I want to be on the other side of that. So yeah, I see you're reading. This is Michael Dost. He's
Yeah.
a Purdue guy. Don't hold that against him. He's always. I'm kidding with you, Michael. I always get confused during NFL season when a team goes from a -3 to a -6 early in the week, and then closer to kickoff, it goes back down to a -3 or 4. What team we look at on Sunday?
Yeah, it's a great question, Michael. And by the way, folks, there are no stupid questions. So if you
Yeah,
have a question, ask it.
there's stupid
We will
people, but
never
not stupid
ridicule
questions.
you for a question. Okay. So there's two things here, Michael. Number one, there is a lot of where you go to where betting lines are, whether it be SBR odds, whether it be Wager Talk odds, whether it be any other Don Best. Certain places that list odds, for whatever reason, we all know that we get lines early in the NFL. As soon as the schedule comes out, 2 or 3 sports books put up early lines.
Mhm.
Um, and some of the time, when you see that -3, that was a line that came out in April. Okay.
Right.
And now the present line and the accurate line is -6. The other part of that equation is that a line comes out on a Monday night game on a Sunday, and Monday night game. I'm sorry. A line comes out on a Sunday night for a team that's playing the following week, but still has to play on Monday night. Does that make sense?
Mhm.
Okay. Now all of a sudden, a key injury happens, so the opening line was 3 and it went to 6, or 6 and it went to 3, whatever the case may be. So there's a lot of variables to look at. And when I see any kind of huge disparity in line movement from the opener to where it is, the first thing you want to check at is see if there's any key injuries. If somebody, a key player, has all of a sudden, from the time they put out the overnight line, or in this case, the line on Sunday night, all of a sudden a key player is now ruled out, doubtful, or questionable, and the books are protecting themselves. So
Right.
it's not an exact science, Ellie. You know, there's a
Yeah.
lot of things you have to look into. I wish I could tell everybody this is exactly what it is each time. When this happens, it's A. When that happens, it's B. It's not that clear cut.
Yeah.
There's certain things to look for. And again, Michael, you should not just look at line movement by itself and use that as a sole entity of picking games, because it's a lazy man's handicap and
Right.
you'll end up on the losing end. I missed that
And
last question.
he was just commenting on something. Michael's really sharp. So, I mean,
Yeah.
and I tell them all the time that there's tools in your toolbox. It's handicapping tools in your toolbox. You know, like last season, I did a lot of trends. Line movement was important for me this season. You know, there's just, I focus in on certain things and I try to like get my head wrapped around them the best. But then I move into, when I first started, reverse line movement was pretty much what I look for. You've got, you know, say 15 baseball games in a day. I don't want to handicap 15 baseball games in a day. So I'm going to go through and look for plus numbers that go down into smaller plus numbers, and then I'm going to handicap that game because there's some kind of edge here that I can figure out. So now my handicap is not who's going to win or lose. I'm trying to figure out, why did this line move and which side should I be on? But like Ross says, you know, when I took that Rockies bet that we did the free pick on, I got it at a plus 105. Yesterday morning, it was a minus 108, I think. So we beat the line movement there. We had the right line movement.
We just didn't get the result.
Yeah, you just didn't get the result. So, you know, that's just part of it too, is it's not going to work every time, but it can be a jumping off point for whether or not I want to figure out this game. You know, if I want to save myself some time, basically on handicapping. So that's kind of
I'm glad you brought that up, Ellie, because deciphering through line movement, reverse line movement, public money, when it comes to money line betting, is much different than it is for point spread betting. And why I say that is I often have said a million times that, you know, you should never be taking money line favorites of minus 160 or 170, because if you lose one, you have to win the next two. So taking numbers that high, you could possibly have a winning record, even close to 60% winning record over a course of a month, and still lose money because you're taking all these big chalks, minus 160, minus 170, minus 180. And as a result, you'll see that many times that those teams in that situation where they're hypothetically minus 170, they're getting most of the action, you know, or they're getting a little bit of the action. Whatever the case may be, there's still a high probability winner, because the laws of probability say the more you go up on the money line, the more probable that team is to win. But again, it's probable to win, but you could still end up with a losing record because of the money you're laying, and you could win 2 out of 3 games and break even over 3 months, you know? So
yeah, and that's oh shoot, I had a question I wanted to ask you before. Okay, fishy lines, before I bring Michael back up. Give me a second, Michael. I'm doing things right now. So for me, I'm big on fishy lines. Like that was something in college basketball that really started popping off to me. And I started, you know, because the more I look at these, the more I get deeper into my caps, and the more I'm trying to learn and absorb things, the more naturally it starts to come to you. You know, and it's another reason why I bet so small right now. It's because I'm trying out a lot of different things. But, you know, like when I saw the Kershaw, we talked about this yesterday, the Nerfy in the Kershaw matchup against the Braves, that Nerfy was a minus 143. And I thought that should be like a minus 180 something. something because we've got Kershaw on the mound, things like that.
Yes.
Michigan State had a situation like that where they should have never been a favorite in that. How do you tell me about
Yeah.
fishy lines? I don't know
I
how to
tell you
ask them
what,
kind
you
of
know,
ask.
who's really good at that, and I
Chip
use it,
Chirimbus.
but he's really hammered the point home with me over the last few years is Chip Chirimbus, who's another handicapper on our channel there. He's very sharp when it comes to that, and I learned a lot from him in that regard. And that's the thing, folks. No matter how much you do this every day, how much you think you know, you could never learn too much.
Yeah.
And the minute you think you know it all is the minute your results in your career is going to stall.
Yeah. And
So
you can't get stuck on something. Sometimes
no,
your line
no.
movement thing is just not working out for you right
If
now. Or
you,
sometimes your nerfies are not cashing or your whatever's. You got to
right.
be able to turn the page and say, what other tool do I have in my toolbox?
Yeah, and usually when you look at the board, and it's not as apparent in baseball in the situation that you just described, Ellie, which is a good one,
Yeah.
but it's not as apparent in money line betting as it is in point spread betting. Examples of such is when you get into the NCAA tournament. In the first round of the NCAA tournament, uh, people tend to look at brand name schools when they're playing smaller, or I shouldn't say smaller schools, but when they're playing a very good mid major, and they'll see, okay, and I'm being hypothetical here. Tennessee's -2. They're number 15 in the country. They're only -2 in the first round against Dayton. That right there, that's a fishy line.
Yeah.
Okay, right there, I would say I'm looking for every reason to use Dayton because, again, folks, if you want to be a successful handicapper, you have to think like a bookmaker.
Yeah.
Why would a bookmaker or an odds maker give you a line that short
Mm-hmm.
on a ranked favorite against an unranked team if his sole goal is, in a perfect world, to even the money off and collect the juice? There's no way that
Yeah.
that's going to happen in that regard. So I always say if it looks too good to be true in sports betting, most times than not, it is.
Yeah, it's
So
that because it looks. I like to think of it as like it looks too easy. That people are like Tennessee -2. Oh, and I can money line them, so you don't even have to lay the 2 to get a decent price on it. Oh, I want everything to do with this. Sorry, I'm watching the Tigers game. Um, excuse me. So yeah, if it feels like it's too easy, it probably is.
I mean, the
Um,
Celtics were an example yesterday too. I mean, they were only a 3-point, 3.5-point favorite, and people were jumping all over Brooklyn because, Brooklyn almost won game one. They gave it away at the end,
mhm,
and also, you got the two best players in that series are definitely Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving, but they're not the better team in my estimation.
nope.
So when I see a short line like that for a team that's good at home and I think is a better team, I'm looking for every reason to use that because, and again, the public was betting Brooklyn too, beside like it was stealing. So
Yeah. Do you have a rule on waiting closer to kickoff in football before placing a wager, or have you seen an odd on Tuesday or Wednesday that made no sense to you that you would jump on it? Do you have any timing
I don't.
strategy for football?
I could tell you this as far as what I sell online and my clients get, I don't have the luxury of waiting close to kickoff. What I normally do is whatever I put out during the week, whether it be Wednesday, Thursday, or Friday, if the line movement to me is even better in my mind on a team that I put out on a Wednesday, I will make a larger bet close to kickoff or add to a bet close to
Okay.
kickoff. But
Double down.
normally when I feel one way on Wednesday, Thursday, I usually, Ellie, these days, I Wednesday or Thursday used to be a thing for me and everybody else in this business. But these days with COVID protocols and the NBA with an 82 game schedule and you don't know who they're going to sit, it's not always a wise idea to put stuff up too early because you can get caught with your pants down the next day. So normally I wait to Thursday on college football, midday Thursday, and Friday in the NFL. And if indeed one of my picks The line movement goes the direction that I like it. In other words, it's a reverse line movement, and I'm getting a better line than I put up to my clients. Then I'll make a bigger bet closer to kickoff. Does that make sense?
Yeah, yeah, absolutely.
It's a
My
difference
guru,
between
my
betting
guru used
professionally and handicapping professionally for the general public.
Yeah,
They're,
my
they're,
guru used to do that. Like he would sprinkle something on something he liked if it was farther out, with the intent of like now that there's money on it, he's going to
yeah.
focus on it a little bit more and pay attention sharper. And yeah, and then he'll it's with the intent to make a bigger bet later on.
Yeah.
When do you as a sports bettor look at teasing a game versus playing the money line? Is there a break even point that you look at that says it's a better place via teaser over a money line?
Yeah, there's never a better place for a teaser in my mind.
Yeah, he's
Um,
not a teaser. He's a grown up, people. He's a grown up.
well, no, the thing is, Ellie, it's a good question. Okay. And I'm not saying anybody who, if you're a small bettor, sometimes teasers are very alluring. And there's a reason why they give them to you, folks. They're not giving it to you to get a better advantage. But I will tell you that if you did a study, well, like I did a few years back, and I did it over a 4-year period, that 72% of the time when you won a 2-team teaser, you would have won the parlay anyway.
There you
So,
go.
and then you have to hit both ends of the teaser too. So, and you have to win both bets at the same odds you would lay down on a flat bet. Now, the other part of the equation you mentioned is the money line. You know as well as I do, Ellie, how good I do on NBA money line picks.
Yeah.
But again, folks, I cut that off at minus 135. I will never go higher than that. And by the way, my NBA money line picks this year at picks and parlays, I've given out 13 of them. I won all 13. All of
Boom.
them minus 135 or less or an underdog. But
Put
that's
that
a
in your
great
pipe and
question.
smoke.
But you're asking the wrong guy when it comes to teasers. And I will say anybody who's anybody in our business, with the there's always an exception to the rule, would probably pretty much agree with me on your attitude toward teasers.
I love a good teaser. I know I shouldn't, but it's for
Yeah.
me, it's better than like if I'm not going to parlay, at least I could tease.
Well,
That's kinda
yeah.
how I do it.
Again, I
But
mean, the odds are better. Okay. I mean,
Yeah.
I should say your chances of winning are better on a 2-team teaser. I'm using 2-teamers as
Yeah.
a hypothetical.
I do 3-teamers because they go to plus money. Like a
Okay.
3-team teaser is a plus money teaser. So
But
that's what
still,
I
I
typically
mean, the
do.
plus money you're getting on a 3-team teaser as opposed to a 3-team parlay is substantially less. So you're giving something up. If there's a pro and a
But I
con.
get the points. So that's
Yeah.
why I like it. I
Yeah.
get the points. So do you handicap any weird sports, any exotics?
No, no.
Okay. I didn't think so.
You know what it is, folks. First of all, I stick to the mainstream, and I love betting hockey myself, but I don't even use hockey anymore because I'm in business. I'm in business by myself. I choose to be that way. I don't want anybody helping me. I don't want anybody clouding my mind, and I don't want to yell at people because they don't do things my way. So my time, there's so much time in a day, and my time is limited. And what sells best
Right.
is the mainstream sports.
Yeah.
It's so. I mean, you could be 78% in the NHL and not make any money through the course of the year because make very little money. Let's put it that way, because the market's not there for it. So it's time management for me more than anything else, Ellie.
Right. That's what I was saying with reverse line movement in baseball. That's how I
Yes.
would pick what I'm going to even work on today because it's time management.
Yeah, you can't. I mean, like you
period.
said, you can't have 15 games on the board. If you start going through all 15 games, the money line, the total, the run line on each, and
First
looking for
5.
options, next thing you know, 5 hours has gone by, and if anything, you're more confused when you at that point than when you started. So,
And a really big tip, sorry to interrupt, but a really big tip that I give to people, because this happens all the time, where you sit down with your pen and your paper, you work out a game the best that you can work it out, and you don't have a play at the end of that cap. There's just nothing you like, and that's okay. don't bet on the game. Like
Yeah.
sometimes that happens and people force themselves like, well, now I just did all this work. I've got to get something out of it. And that's more of a forced play. I like it when I'm capping and it's like, and this and this and and here's the play. That's the moment you're kind of looking for.
Sometimes you're going to have 5 or 6 plays you like in a day, and other times there's nothing wrong with taking a pass. Sometimes a pass is a winning day because if you feel like you need to take a pass and you don't because you feel like you have to bet something, or in my case, put something out, you're forcing a play. And I can guarantee you when you start forcing plays, you're going to have a losing record in those situations more times than not. So yeah, I mean, I'll look at a board every day, Ellie, and I'll eliminate half the board sometime. First of all, big money line favorites, I eliminate right off the bat. I got in the habit, if I bet a big money line underdog, I'm doing it myself personally because, quite frankly, people don't appreciate, a lot of people out there as customers don't appreciate when you give them a plus 160 dog that wins. Because it's nothing more than just the winner. It's not just another winner. You just made plus 160 instead of plus 100.
Yeah,
so
it's kind of a big deal.
Yeah.
Kind of a big
So I mean, you gotta be able to just eliminate something. College basketball on a daily basis, right? How do you go through
Holy
120 games on a Saturday?
Yeah. Yeah, pick a conference. You got to find ways to do that. So I've got 2 good questions. We've only got about 10 minutes left. Tate wants to know, do you have a limit on how many bets that you make in a day? And then Michael Dost wants to know your thoughts on hedging and how much of your bank. I'm a big hedger. They all know that about me. I'm a big. I had Raptors plus 108 last night, and I got on the 76ers at plus 250. So,
okay.
Tell me I'm wrong. Tell me I was wrong to hedge that Raptors bet.
I wouldn't do that simply because you assure yourself of one losing bet. When you hedge, you want to have an opportunity of winning both ways.
Yeah, but that is a hedge. For me, I am winning money. I'm middling more though. They're both plus money.
Well,
I'm
how
going
are you
to take
middling
money.
if you're taking 2 money line? Do you just name 2 money line picks?
I'm taking like money out of the middle, off the top is because if it's a plus money and a plus money, then it doesn't matter who wins. I'm going to scrape something off the top. So that's what I mean by I hedge it. I kind of
optimally, what I would do in hedging is use a point spread. And a lot of people, the more popular thing to do right now, say, for example, you have a team -2 for the game and they get up by 20 at the half. And then the second half line comes out. It's a good opportunity to hedge because you have an opportunity to win both bets. But I would never hedge in that situation where your main bet doesn't enable you to make more money than the one you hedge on. Or in other words, you never want to hedge where you're going to break even. So. And what was Michael? And the other question was, I'm sorry,
how many bets do you make in a day?
Yeah, that's it's a loaded question because as I just alluded to, I'm not a volume handicapper. Okay, there's some guys that pick some parlays that are. There's some guys at other sites that are, and I guess the big thing these days is sites really don't concentrate on win percentage more than units earned. So guys that trust themselves will put out 16, 18 picks in a day sometimes. And, if they make money, that's all it's about. Well, my feeling is on that is if I'm doing that to a client, what happens if a guy who is successful in doing that, there's always a point where he has a bad run. Same with me, whether I'm giving out 1 to 3 or he's giving out 16 to 18, we're going to have bad runs along the way. You get on a guy who's giving out 16 to 18 plays and you don't have a large bankroll, he could bankrupt you in a 2 or 3 day period. So as far as I go, I'll give out 5 picks on an NFL Sunday on occasion, most times 3 to 4. Saturday college football, anywhere from 5 to 7, but there's 121 games, or I'm sorry, there's 60 something games on a college football Saturday. College basketball, the same thing. There might be a Saturday I give out 7 picks, but there's also 121 games. So, but I'm not a proponent of what some, I got to be careful when I say this because I don't want to be disrespectful. But I don't know why anybody would want to invest in somebody giving out huge amounts of games every day because you're asking for disaster.
For me, it's just kind of, and I do take a lot of bets a day. I mean, you guys know that about me because
Yeah,
I
but
have
you bet $5 a
bets.
game.
I
Yeah.
bet $2 to $5 a game.
Yeah, but see, this is the thing, Ellie. I
Yeah,
mean,
I'm not going
if
to bust myself in a day.
what if you spend $349 on a monthly package with
Yeah,
somebody that's giving out 15 to 16 games a day?
yeah,
You know, and he may be a very, very good handicapper. And again, I don't want to mention names because I know there's a couple on our site
yeah.
that are very good handicappers and do make money doing that.
Oh yeah,
But the problem is you also got to look out for the best interests of the client. And if you have a couple losing days in a row right off the get go, you could A, run him out of money, or B, now you go on a good run and he had to lessen the amount of money he was making per wager because
right,
he's betting scared or his bankroll dictates that. So it's a
right.
loaded question, but I'm not a volume
Yeah.
guy. Let's put it
I
that
like it better when a handicapper gives me 1, 2, or 3 picks. Like with 16,
way.
now I feel like I still have to handicap. You like that's every baseball game that happens on a
Yeah,
Saturday
and
is what you
me,
just
I
gave me.
like to
So
give out a detailed analysis.
it's
Just me, I like to give
yeah.
out a detailed analysis. I want my clients to, when they buy a pick from me, know exactly what I was looking at.
Mhm.
And like I always say, try to make them a smarter sports better today than they were yesterday. They might not be a client of mine a year from now when they occasionally dabble in and go, I'll remember Ross said that to look at this specific thing when it happens in this certain situation. I mean, you
Mhm.
start giving out 16, 17 handicap or games a day, and you give out detailed analysis, you're writing War and Peace every day.
Yeah.
You know,
That's a
so,
good call.
yeah.
That is a good call. All right. Well, we are out of time, but that was awesome. Michael Doe says thank you. Very insightful.
Thank
Will
you,
you come on
Mike.
next week, next Thursday again?
Absolutely. Next Thursday, I'm good. The first week of May, I'm not. After that, I'm good, Ellie.
Oh, you know what? Next Thursday, I'm not here, but Lenny will be here. I'm going to California. I need a vacation. I haven't left Las Vegas since freaking
Well,
July when I went to
why don't I
Portland.
just wait until I'll come back when the second week of May. How's that?
Okay, that's totally fine.
You're
James
welcome,
says
James.
thank you, Ross. Super
You're
Sly, I
welcome, Super
appreciate your
Sly.
candor.
I appreciate all you guys. I really do. It's what
Yeah.
makes these types of programs go. Without your participation, and I think I could speak for Ellie when I say this, is without your participation, there is no show.
Yeah,
So,
we got nothing. We got nothing here. And I know Ross, you're really excited to come on the show. Like you love to do
yeah,
this. So
I
we
love
love
the
to have
audience
you.
participation. I really, really like that because I know there's a lot of inquisitive people out there that are just not all about, hey, Ross, what's your free pick for today? I don't want
Right.
to pay. What's your free pick? And if you lose the free pick, they criticize you. They want
Yeah,
to learn.
I
They
know.
want to become better handicappers themselves. And I'm all for that, man. I'm all about
We've got
educating better.
a lot. Our morning woodies are really sharp. We've got a
Yeah.
lot of sharp
Well,
guys
I
and
mean, these
girls.
questions right now, Ellie, have
Yeah.
been really good. And again, folks, don't be shy about if you're new to this, never be shy about asking me or any of the other handicappers what you deem to be possibly a stupid question. There's no such thing, you know?
Yep. Yep, that's just it. I mean, you got to figure it out. You got to learn somewhere. I want to be a place where people can learn. And I know AJ says thanks too. I know that, a lot of the Woodies want to learn also. I had a rough time learning because I was a chick. Like I don't have any girlfriends I can ask stupid questions to. And then you
Yeah.
play like the cute blonde, like what's a money line and things like that. But I didn't realize that a minus 200, I'm betting $2 to win $1. Forever, I never realized that until I
Yeah.
did. And then when I realized, oh, if I'm cashing 2 out of 3 on a parlay every day, why don't I just straight bet those little mother flippers, and
Yeah.
then I'll make a profit. And so it's little things like that once they click in your head, you're like, oh, I'm a little bit more successful now that I figured that out. I'm a little bit more successful now that I figured
Yeah.
that out. So you just got to keep doing it,
I had
guys.
Scotty Spreitzer on my podcast yesterday, and he's been around forever and a day. Real big name out in Las Vegas, actually. and I don't want to name the sites he's been at and all that kind of stuff, but basically, he brought something to my attention, which I remember I used to use, and for whatever reason I got away from it, and I used it last night, is when teams in an NBA series are down 2-0, and they return home, you should bet them in the first quarter of that game. And I did last night. I took Toronto in the first quarter. They're down 2-0 in the series, and they won the first quarter handily, and they ended up losing the game in overtime. And the basis behind all that is that teams down 2-0 returning home in front of their home crowd are going to be playing with a high degree of urgency and desperation and feeding off the emotion of the home crowd early on. And then the better teams usually will weather the storm, but sometimes it's after the first quarter. So I think if you went back and looked at the results of that type of scenario over the years, Ellie, you'll find that that's over a 60% system very easily.
Yeah. Nothing wrong with that, man. Nothing wrong with that at all.
Keep that in your back pocket, my dear.
Yeah, I remember you telling me something about +5s that someone had told you if there's a +5,
in
fine.
football.
But is that only football?
No, just football. Yes. Yeah.
Only because me and Laterica do that with basketball, and it rocks for us. 5.5 +5.5 in basketball rocks for Laterica.
Yeah, the NFL and college football. I really take a hard look at underdogs of 5 or 5.5 forever. It's in that in between number, okay, where it's less than a touchdown and more than a field goal kind of thing, and it's done awfully well for me over the years. But again, folks. I just don't look at a +5 and +5.5 and automatically take it without looking at anything else. Right. But that seems to be a favorable number for an underdog, Ellie.
I remember you telling. That was one of the things I learned from you. All right, guys, if you want to find Ross Benjamin's premium plays, roll over to picksandparlays.net and use the promo code MLB. That's going to save you 20% off of his best bets. He's already got a 10-star top play up. He 13-0 on money line NBA money lines.
Today is not a money line play, but Ellie, since April 1st, 16-7 with my NBA picks, including a 10-star top play last night on the Boston Celtics, and my Major League Baseball 10-star top play since the start of last year, 45-23, 66%, and 10-star top plays overall, whether it be baseball or basketball, 9-2 with my last 11.
Beautiful. Keep crushing it, Ross. Just keep on crushing it. Morning Woodies, thank you. The Morning Woodies say thank you. I know they really appreciate you coming on, and we'll see you in a couple weeks, in 2 weeks. Yeah.
Sounds good. And I appreciate all of you out there. Good luck. Use proper money management. Remember that, folks.
Money
and listen
management.
to Ellie. She knows what she's talking about.
By the way, Dimitri cashed.
All right, sweetie. You take care.
Bye, Ross. Thanks so much. All right. Okay. That was good. I love it when he comes on. I love it.
Good stuff.
Everybody needs a Ross in their pocket. Okay. So what update me on Miggy?
It's top of the fourth. Tigers are 1-0. He's up to bat in the bottom of the fourth. He's the leadoff batter.
Okay. All right. So let's we got to wrap it up. We've only got a minute to go. You guys are going to head over to Just Parlays with Chris King. He's up next at 2 p.m. and then back to the window with Scott and Scott. Scott Reichel wanted me to say hello to the Woodies, and he did cash that Drummond under 8.5 rebounds that he gave you guys as his free pick yesterday. That did cash. So thank you, Scott Reichel. You guys can head over to Back to the Window at 3 p.m. and thank them yourselves, because that's what we do. And then Lenny and the Earl twins are on at 5 p.m. Eastern for Game Time Decision. So check them out. Sean Higgs is going to be on the show tomorrow. He will be with us. We can ask him any questions we want to know about. And then don't forget about Caesar Sportsbook. The link to the promo is in the description of the video. It's up to $1,100 in first bet insurance. And once again, if you want to buy Ross's best bets, use the promo code MLB when you're over at picksandparlays.net. Thank you guys so much for watching. Have a great day. Good luck, everybody. Go Miggy. And good luck unless you're against Lenny.
Yeah. Just don't even start with me today. Go Tigers.
my God, I'm